until somebody sells something. So much of the American economy depends on the salesman's success. Therefore, the salesman who can move merchandise is always in demand. He is never out of work. The salesman turns the wheels of industry. And because he is so important to business success, he is among the most highly rewarded of all people. Anybody can work at a bench or sit behind a desk, depending on somebody else's favor to get ahead. But the salesman is his own boss. He works on incentive. He gets paid for what he does. He sets his own work schedules, his own goals. Everybody respects him because nobody, from the chairman of the board down to the filing clerk, draws a paycheck until the salesman draws his pay. And the more he makes, the better off everybody is. Well, these are some of the reasons I have chosen this exciting and highly paid career of selling, and why I can recommend it to you. I, for one, am proud to be a salesman. A salesman, of course, can only be as good as his company and its products. The company that is considering you is a good one. It's a leader in its field. They've been in business since 1914. They have sales offices in every city in the United States, in many cities in Canada and abroad. More than $600 million worth of their products have been sold since the last war. The company and its products have won national recognition. They have been the subject of major articles in magazines like Life, New Yorker, Business Week. Its product is advertised in and guaranteed by Good Housekeeping Magazine and Institute. The product has been on television. Jack Parr did a feature on it on his show. The company has the highest financial rating it's possible to get. Dun & Bradstreet AAA1, which puts it in the select class along with General Motors, General Electric, American Telephone, and a handful of other blue-chip companies. Now, how did it earn that rating? Well, its salesman earned it. The company is recognized not only for the quality of its products, but for its outstanding selling organization, one of the world's best. Do you need experience in selling to join them? No. It's nice if you have it. But experience is not required because their managers can train any man who's accepted to make good earnings in a short period of time. As a matter of fact, over 90% of the company's most successful people never sold before they joined this company. Who qualifies for what kind of earnings? Let me give you a few typical case histories. The men who answered the ad came together just as you have today. A man from the company gave them the facts, much as I've been doing. The people had come from all sorts of backgrounds, but they had one thing in common. They were looking for a chance to earn a better living in a respectable job. There was Fred Benish, 24 years old, high school graduate, employed part-time as a punch press operator. Robert Curry, 32, college graduate, former assistant accountant, presently unemployed. George Mailer, 40, high school graduate, experienced in selling hospital supplies, presently unemployed. Darrell Grove, 31, trade school graduate, journeyman bricklayer. Peter Janusik didn't finish high school, laborer, unemployed. All the applicants were given an aptitude test. The test, which is the same one you will be given, has been developed by the company over a period of years to determine whether or not an applicant has the inherent psychological and personality traits to be successful in a selling career. People who never thought of themselves as salesmen often qualify. Others, even when they have had previous experience, sometimes do not. Robert Curry, the college graduate, proved to be much too timid and retiring to ever succeed in selling. Peter Janusik lacked the personality that successful selling requires. The others were told to report to the office of the local distributor the next morning. The next several days were spent in intensive training. The men were instructed in the basic techniques of selling. They learned about the company's products and how to show them to best advantage, how to close sales and write up orders. At the end of the training program, numerous prospects and methods for obtaining prospects were given to each man. Their selling careers would begin the next day. Now, all of us who work for a living do it to earn money, of course. But that's just a means to an end. We also want to prove that we're as good as the next guy. That's how it was with these men. And if you'd have been able to overhear their conversations that night, you might have predicted how their careers would turn out.
You know, somehow this selling job feels right, honey. Gives me a chance to meet people, to talk with them. And you know I like to do that. Besides, it's a white-collar job and I'm on my own. To tell you the truth, I wish it were tomorrow already.
I don't know whether I can do this or not.
Well, you passed the test.
I know, but I've never done any selling.
Look, it isn't as though you didn't have a good trade, honey. Maybe you can't set the world on fire as a salesman. But if you can just make enough at it to fill in between jobs, it'd be something.
I want it to be more than that. In a couple of years, Jack will be in college, and that'll take real money. Well, we'll see.
The good thing about selling this way is that everybody's a prospect. Well, it's not like calling only on hospitals and being out on the road all day and bucking cutthroat competition.
Well, I know this much. The products are wonderful. You sold me.
Well, that's right. And you know, honey, if I can sell you, I can sell anybody.
Well, honey, I've been selling less than 2 weeks, and already we're having steak with all the trimmings.
It's like a celebration.
Yep, and look, over $200. How about that?
Why, Fred, that's wonderful. But will it go on?
Well, the boss says it's pretty good for a new man, but next week, I'll top it. You watch.
Well, here it is, Kate. Kind of a slow start, I guess, but I've got a lot of good prospects lined up for next week.
Well, I don't think it's so bad for a start.
Well, I'm not satisfied yet, but I'm sure there's a great future in it. Monday, the sales manager is going to make some calls with me, and we've got a sales clinic for tomorrow night. I'll get the hang of it pretty soon.
Well, not as much as I made on my old job. But $120 the first week isn't bad, do you think?
I think it's wonderful. You're bound to do better, George. Besides, you're enjoying this job, I can tell.
All of them did better as they gathered experience and went on with their training. In 2 years, Darrell Grove had $3,000 in the bank. All of it out of his sales earnings from working part-time. George Mailer averaged $120 a week his first 6 months. Today, he's averaging $235 a week. Fred Benish, well, he's a good example of what can happen to any man who has the ability and ambition to make the most of the opportunity that is open to any one of you. Starting in his second month with the company, Fred became a full-fledged senior dealer. His earnings increased to more than $1,000 a month. He became a field counselor, and he was on his way to even higher earnings. Fred and Marge set the date and began shopping for a home in the better part of town. At work, he had his own desk and was receiving additional training in business management, finance, contracting, and all of the things he would have to know when he took the next step, which came shortly after his first year with the company. He was now an area distributor. So far, he had made no investment in the business. Now, with a modest investment, he opened his own office and equipped it with furniture and inventory. He had taken another great step forward in his career. Fred's efforts now were directed towards supervision and motivation of other men. He became a well-known and respected businessman in the community. His income from $1,800 to $2,500 a month. What's ahead for Fred? Well, this year he'll be offered an opportunity to become a franchised factory distributor in another city. He'll only have to invest about $5,000, and he saved that easily, despite the fact that he has enjoyed a standard of living better than 95% of the people in the United States. The sky is the limit for Fred Benish from here on. He has been successful beyond his wildest dreams. He had no previous experience in selling, but readily adapted himself to it. The majority of the company's most successful men never sold before either. In Fred's case, the company simply made the best use of his talents when they promoted him as quickly as they did. Is Fred's case exceptional? Oh, yes. He moved ahead rapidly, but the other men who started with him have done well, too. All of them have greatly improved their standard of living and have earned new respect from their families and friends. Now, I'd like to tell you about and introduce you to a few men who actually started where you are not long ago. Here is Bill Early's home in Downey, California, just outside Los Angeles. And here's the proud owner. How are you, Bill?
Hi, Don. Just fine, thank you.
Good. Bill, I understand you were an accountant before you came with the company?
That's right, Don. I studied accounting in college and took a part-time job working with the company to sort of help with my expenses. But by the time that I had finished school, I was making so much money in selling, I couldn't find an accounting job that would pay quite so well.
Are you sorry that you never got around to accounting?
Not at all, Don. I wouldn't trade jobs with anyone.
Oh, isn't that a wonderful way to feel? Thank you, Bill, ever so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Bye. This beautiful home in Yardley, Pennsylvania is the residence of Mr. and Mrs. Jim Marion. Come on in here, Jim.
Don, how are you?
Oh, just fine. And you?
Wonderful.
Jim, what's your story?
Well, Don, I'm a graduate of St. Louis University Law School, and I decided to get out of the law business because I wanted to make money while I was still young.
So you went into the
Selling business, that's right, with the present company I'm with.
I see. Well, judging from the looks of this home here, Jim, you must have done pretty well for yourself.
Well, I made more money than I ever dreamt possible.
Isn't that wonderful? How long did it take you to reach the kind of figure you make today, Jim?
Approximately 5 years.
Oh, my. That's not a long period of time, is it?
No, it's not.
Jim, good luck to you.
Thank you, and pleasure meeting you, Don.
Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
This beautiful home is the residence of Jim Sperry from Dallas, Texas. Jim also sent us a picture of his boat, this Chris Craft cruiser. Jim started as a salesman for the company, became a distributor, and is now Southwestern Divisional Supervisor. Hi, Jim.
Morning, Don.
Jim, did you have any previous selling experience?
Yes, Don, I spent 9 years with a competitive company. But they weren't as successful as I thought they should be. And when I came with this company back in 1948, I was flat broke and had to earn money immediately.
Well, I understand that you did very well right from the start. What made the difference?
Well, that's easy. A better product, a far better training program, a much better company. As a matter of fact, the best in the business.
Well, that lineup of qualities must make it a wonderful company to work for. Glad to see you, Jim. Thank you. This is the home of Mr. and Mrs. Ray George of Denver, Colorado, at the foot of the Rocky Mountains. Ray, come on in, will you?
Hello, Don.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Ray, tell me, what was your background before coming with the company?
I was a short order cook and a greasy spoon.
Well, it's not a bad occupation, but I can think of a lot of others that are nicer, can't you?
That's right.
What has your sales career meant to you, Ray?
Everything, Don. It's given us this beautiful home. We own our own office building, all the good things of life, plus a pretty prominent position in the community.
Well, in other words, your selling career has given you everything a man could ask for.
Yes, indeed it has.
Well, I couldn't be more delighted, Ray. I'm just so happy
I'm
for you.
very grateful, too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You deserve everything. Now, what is the basis for the success these men have enjoyed? Well, it is based on a truly outstanding product. One that leads in its field and is known and wanted by families all over America. I'm going to ask one of our associates, John Kemper, to show it to you and to describe some of its remarkable capabilities.
Gentlemen, I'm here to introduce to you the most versatile appliance known to the American household. It is the Sanitronic system, a multiple-purpose system that performs over 78 tasks in and around the home. For example, the handy butler is one of the most versatile units. It does a professional job of knife sharpening. It polishes silverware and many kinds of metal objects. In the home workshop, the man of the house easily converts it into a portable, heavy-duty power tool, as I have just done, to do any one of hundreds of odd jobs or to pursue a hobby. He can use it for drilling, sanding, wire brushing, and grinding. And here's another popular use for the handy butler: to put a long-lasting wax finish on the family car. The next unit is a complete demothing and exterminating unit, giving the housewife a quick, easy, safe, and sure method to control moths and other harmful insects through the exclusive process that pulverizes and vaporizes para-dichlorobenzene crystals. Here is a portable and powerful air compressor designed to be used with a spray gun to spray lacquer, paint, floor wax, plus many other liquids. Around the yard or garden, the Sanatronic gets a workout all summer long, spraying insecticides and bug repellent. Our next money-saving unit is the Suds gun, a professional-type shampoo unit which generates volumes of extra dry suds for safe, efficient, and economical shampooing of rugs, carpets, and upholstered furniture. By using the shoulder strap to carry this lightweight, full-powered unit, both hands are free for work in difficult places. Another outstanding Sanatronic unit is this power polisher for use on wood floors or resilient floor coverings. It gets right up to the baseboard and into corners. There's no splashing, no unsightly streaks or swirls. It does a professional polishing job. Many of the country's finest hotels and motels use this full-powered Sanatronic hand-portable mattress renovator. It's also wonderful for upholstered furniture. You have seen just a few applications of the Sanatronic system. It actually performs over 78 household tasks. This one system, easy to use, simple to demonstrate, converts into at least 9 individual units, such as the mattress renovator, power polisher, tank-type unit, shampoo unit, portable air compressor, demother, car polisher and power drill, knife sharpener and grinder. All of these functions are performed with this lightweight but heavy-duty electrical power plant. It's quality built, fully guaranteed, and practically priced. The Sanatronic system enjoys a national reputation. It's the home maintenance system every housewife intends to buy someday. Thanks for letting me show the Sanatronic to you. I have enjoyed being with you very much.
I told you one of our associates would introduce you to the Kirby Sanatronic. I did not tell you that he is one of the most successful business executives in America today. That was John A. Kemper, the very capable and dynamic president of the company that produces the Kirby Sanatronic. Well, you've heard the story of the company. You've seen the product and a few of its capabilities. You've heard from men like yourselves who are doing very well selling it. Gentlemen, some of you may have had the disappointing experience of going through a series of low-paying, dull, insecure jobs that were subject to layoffs and strikes, jobs that did not offer a future. If you have had that kind of experience, why go on with it? Why not turn a new page in your life? Take the brief aptitude test that will be given you in a moment. See if you qualify for a brilliant and exciting new career in selling. Our company will not consider anyone who hasn't a sound and solid chance to succeed in selling. This may be the most important day in your life. It has been a pleasure for me to share it with you. I hope you join the ranks of the most wanted and important men in America. Good luck and good selling. Until
Whoops, got all clicky. Hey, I'm Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to our lunchtime streaming show. I guess it's a show, right? You know, I call it an event, I call it a streaming thing. It's a show. That's just what I'm going to go forward saying. I'm Skip Alzheimer, and this is what we do. I started the AV Geeks archive back in the early 90s, and I've been showing 16mm films to people ever since. It's kind of why I collect films. We have over 27,000 films, and because I'm not at the archive, what I've been doing is showing the films that we've already digitized, and we have digitized over 2,000 films, and we have probably only seen, actually I have a total count right here, 403 films. And this last film was the Kirby sales film. It's not really the title of it. I bought this on eBay, and the title was clipped, and the ending was clipped, which happens sometimes on eBay, and you could tell the color was just weird. It's very strange, greenish. I mean, we tried to transfer it and correct the color a little bit, but obviously it's not right. But anyways, that film was featuring Don Amici, who showed up later in Trading Places, but also was a fine actor prior. I think he was he in Cocoon? I could be confusing that with Batteries Included. Those films came out around the same time. So Don was looking to make looking to make a mortgage payment, and found this gig hawking Kirby vacuum cleaners. And this film is interesting because it doesn't sell Kirby vacuum cleaners. It's selling you on the idea of selling Kirby vacuum cleaners. And I have a couple of films like that. Somebody mentioned them in the comments on either YouTube or Facebook. The freezer sales film for people that sell Sears Kenmore freezers, and then also the rug selling film featuring Jonathan Winters, that was meant to be shown to salesmen to show to who are selling rugs. So it's an interesting niche, and the idea is, this is what you would take to a convention, or you would take to a regional meeting, or you would take, a person who is managing a region would show this to folks that are thinking of selling, and then those that are selling, kind of get them motivated to sell more stuff. Kind of an anecdote is, I would say 3 months ago, it's kind of before the pandemic, I was at the archive, there was a knock at the door, and there was a guy who was selling Kirby cleaning products, like their version of Windex and things like that. And I said, he started into his spiel, and I said, oh, I know all about Kirby sales. I have an old film about selling vacuum cleaners. And he's like, oh, he got very excited because he's like, he didn't have to explain what Kirby was, and he knew that I knew what they were, but I still didn't buy anything from him. He was then disappointed, yeah. So he was so excited. Somebody knows what I do. I don't have to say that 5-minute paragraph about what Kirby is and what we represent, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nope, sorry. I don't buy stuff door to door. Anyhow, so collecting old 16mm films and showing them to folks like you. This next film is an Encyclopedia Britannica film. Encyclopedia Britannica was pretty boring and stale for a long time until the late 60s. And then something changed, and you can fill in the blanks on what that was. This is a very odd foot fetish film. part of a series. This is called Fantasy of Feet.
πως είσαι μάγκας, είσαι και μπελαλής, πως γυρίζεις στις ταβέρνες, είσαι και μερακλής.
Everybody ready? This is the last go-round. Four ladies chain, grand chain across, turn 'em. you chain 'em back. Everybody join hands, circle up 8 and 8, hand rings, circle to the left. Reverse, single file, lady in the lead. When you get back home, face the partner, do-sa-do. Now turn to the corner, do an element left. Come back in a right or left grand, round the ring.
So I have other, like I said, foot fetish Encyclopedia Britannica films. There's one called Toes Tell, which is very fetishist, and I might show that sometime soon. And the other is Whose Shoes. So there was a theme there. I didn't actually compare to see if it was the same filmmaker, but somebody posited that in the comments that LSD is what the new feature was in Encyclopedia Britannica films, and I would say that drug culture certainly added to it, but also Encyclopedia Britannica was looking to kind of get more hip, and they hired younger filmmakers who were being very much influenced by experimental films and by interesting edit films and television. Television is quicker edits and more challenging. So there is this kind of wild, even Cornette goes through this. They go through this little wild period where everything is a little bit crazier and psychedelic and nuts. So I very much appreciate that. This next film is a Centron film. Centron is a film company that was out of Kansas, Lawrence, Kansas. And it was a small shop. And I have a warm place in my heart, as do some other collectors and academics who write about educational films, for Centron, because they weren't as much of a factory that was cranking out films like Cornette and Encyclopedia Britannica. They tend to have a little bit more heart. And this series that this film comes from is one where they examine different types of problem kids that you might encounter in school, and kind of thinks about like what could change. And so there's the snob, there's the gossip, there's the show-off, the bully, and then this one is the outsider. And the twang in this voice, in the voices of the kids, is quite something. So here's the outsider.
Make a party out of it. Hey, let's have a Friday night. Is that okay with everybody? Sure. But what we going to eat? Junior, all you think of is eating. Oh, I wouldn't say that. Well, I'll bring some Cokes. Why don't you bring the sandwiches? Okay. I'll get Mother to make some potato salad. You might as well have the party over at my house.
Swell. Okay, you girls bring these, and we'll bring the records.
That'll be swell.
Okay.
Well, I gotta go to class now. So long. Bye.
Susan Jane, what's the matter with you? Why is everyone else having such a good time when you're not? Why do they always leave you out? Do you look different? Is it some way you act? What makes you the outsider? The outsider, the one nobody asks.
Golly, this assignment will take us all night. Why don't you come over at my house and we'll work it out together? Swell, I'll see you about 7. Okay.
Susan Jane, you make good grades. You could really help them. Why don't they ask you? Even in things you're good at, why do they make you the outsider?
Well, look, if it hadn't been for what they did in the ninth inning, we'd be okay.
Yeah, but did you see Joe out in center field?
He was...
Hi, Marcy. Hi, Dan.
Oh, hello, Susan.
Hi, Susan Jane. What do you know? Nothing much. Did you okay if I sit down?
Sure, go ahead, sit down. Let me tell you what this guy said. It's a scheme. He said every one of our team was left loose. He said, look at this South. What you folks going to have this afternoon?
Hi, Jimmy. I want a root beer. A chocolate ice cream cone, please.
That's what I want, too, a chocolate ice cream cone.
Oh, I believe I changed my mind. I want a chocolate ice cream cone, too.
Why do the other kids do everything differently? They choose different things. They stick together on everything. Why are you always the one who's out of step? Is there something the matter with you?
Yeah, I know. The wrestling's supposed to be on.
Oh, is it? Good.
Here you are.
Oh, thank you.
Well, what in the world's the matter with her?
I don't know.
Suppose we said something?
We didn't say anything to her. Maybe that's the matter.
She's a funny girl. I don't think she likes us. Say, what's the matter with us?
Maybe more than you think. We might have tried to say something to her. Hi, everybody.
Hi, how's Latin Fest?
Oh, too bad the second page is terrible.
I'm afraid I flubbed mine.
Hi.
Hi, Junior. Figured out what you're going to eat at the party tonight?
Sure. Make mine a super duper special, will you, Jimmy? Just plenty of everything. That's all I want. Say, what's the matter, Marcy?
Oh, nothing. I just don't understand that Susan Jane Smith. We were sitting here eating our ice cream cones, and all of a sudden she just jumps up and leaves. Who's Susan Jane Smith? Oh, you know, that quiet girl in our homeroom. The one who sits in front of Freddie.
Oh, that one, Mousy. I think she's stuck up. She won't even speak to me, and I sit right behind her.
I don't think she's stuck up. I think she's probably just scared of you.
Scared of him? Scared of me? What for? I don't know anybody that's scared of me.
Well, just the same, I'll bet that's the trouble. I'll bet she'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, forget her. Let's all go over to Lewis's and look at television.
Yeah,
Say, how about my super duper special? Hey, fellas, wait for me.
Susan, I thought I heard you come... Why, Susan, what's the matter?
Nothing. Just leave me alone, Mother.
Susan Jane, something is the matter, and I want to know what it is. Now tell me.
It's no use, Mother. It's something you can't help. I must be different. I just don't fit in.
Why, of course you're different, dear. Everybody is.
No, everybody's not different. Oh, maybe they look different or dress different, but most people, the kids at school, seem to belong. They plan parties together and do homework together, and they all choose chocolate ice cream cones.
Chocolate ice cream cones? Why, Susan, that doesn't make sense. Have they left you out of something? If that's it, we can have some of your friends over Friday.
Oh, Mother, you don't understand. Can't you see? Nobody'd come to my party. They're having a party of their own, and I'm not in on it. I don't want you to give me a party.
I want to go to theirs. I want to have fun with them. I want... Oh, what's the use? Nobody can help me. Not even you.
Nobody can help you, Susan Jane? Maybe you can. Sometimes it's hard to figure out why things happen the way they do, but sometimes there's a very simple answer. You were just standing there in the hall the next day, all alone, weren't you? The way you always are. And you heard the girls talking. You thought they were talking about you.
Oh, no, we can't ask her. She's a creep.
Susan Jane, who's a creep? Who are they talking about?
You said it. She willed everything. Can't you just see her not opening her mouth all evening, sitting there like a pole? Why can't she relax? And the clothes she wears. It'd be different if she just put herself out a little, but oh no, she's too wrapped up in herself for that.
Susan Jane, wait a minute. They're not talking about you. But you didn't wait to hear that, did you?
We just can't ask Miss Simpkins to be the chaperone at our party. We've got to get someone else. All right, we'll ask Miss Hatfield. Sure, she'd be fun. Say, Lois, why don't we ask Susan Jane Smith to come, too? What? Oh, I don't know. It's just that something happened down at the drugstore. I think I told you about it. Maybe she feels the way I do, to be a little nicer to her. Suit yourself. The party's at your house. Hello? Yes, this is Susan Jane. Marcy? Marcy Clark? Yes. Say, Susan, we're talking about having a party over here at my house Friday night. Not a real big one, just a bunch of us. Everybody's bringing something to eat. Why don't you come over? You could bring a cake. Nobody's bringing that yet. But I thought you... Oh, no, I just couldn't. Hello, Susan Jane? Hello? Hello? Susan Jane? Susan Jane, what is it? Can't go. I just can't do it. They called me a creep. They said I'd willed everything. They said all kinds of mean things about me. And now they're inviting me to their party just so they can make fun of me. Mrs. Smith, I'm Marcy Clark. Oh, yes. I must have said something to Susan Jane. I don't know what it is, but I'm worried. Marcy, Susan Jane has the idea that you kids were talking about her. She thinks that you invited her to your party just because you felt sorry for her. Oh, no. May I see her? Yes, of course. Talking, I thought you were talking about me. But we weren't. We don't even think that about you. Susan Jane, I want to be your friend. Will you come to our party? Yes, I will. Gee, you must think I'm pretty silly. No, because I felt the same way lots of times. You? Well, I have. I'll see you Friday. And don't forget to bring the cake. Gee, to think I could be so wrong about Marcy and Lois. And if I was wrong about them, I might be wrong about a lot of other things, too. Sure, I'm different from Marcy and the rest of the kids. Then they're different from each other, too. They make friends easily. Guess I'll have to work hard at it. And I'm going to start working on it right now. Mother, they've invited me, and I'm going. And this time I'm going to try to make them like me. I'm going to fix up. I'm going to join in and not hang back. I'm going to be friendly. I'm going to like them, and... Oh, Mother, do you think that'll make them like me? Well, it's certainly a start, Susan Jane. Yes, I think this may be your chance. Well, is everything set for the big feed? If you mean the party, it's all set.
Just like we planned.
With one addition. Marcy's invited Susan Jane Smith. Susan Jane Smith?
Why her?
Well, why not?
I don't know. I just never thought of her fitting in with us.
Neither did I. But, gee, we'll all be there, and if everybody's there, we ought to have a good time. Let's give her a try. She may not be so bad. We don't even know her. We'll find out.
Well, Susan Jane, this is your big moment. The moment you've been waiting for. This is your chance to show the gang what you really are. You've fixed your hair and have on a pretty dress. You've even found a book on what to do to make people like you. And you've made up your mind not to act like an outsider. But is this enough? Will it work? Will you do the right things? Will you say the right things? Will the gang accept you, Susan Jane? Will they do the right things?
Susan Jane. Yes, Mother? It's about time for you to go.
So what's kind of interesting about the series is that it actually is aimed towards the kids, and how can the kids solve this problem, not bringing in adults to solve the problem. And that's even the case with the bully. It's really kind of interesting. I don't know if it's effective, but it's definitely a way to say, you know, kids, you have a social community and you have to police it in some way. This next film is another film where it's missing the title and it's missing the end. And some educational films just are that way. What happens is, this is my theory, is that when somebody threads a projector, they don't do a good job of it and it shreds the front of the film. Likewise, some people stop the projector and then at the end of a film, and then they rewind it with the film going back through the projector. And that also shreds the film. So I think that's probably what has happened with this film, but it's phenomenal nonetheless. I think the title is Little Kitten, and I believe it's a foreign film, but this is pretty outrageous. So here we go, Little Kitten. And I believe it's a foreign film. This is pretty outrageous. So here we go. Little Kitten. And I believe it's a foreign film. But this is.
This ball of woolen yarn. See, kitten, how it grows? It gets smaller with each turn and tangles as it goes. there's a fellow in a cave. I wonder if he'd play a while. He's flighty as can be. Come and try this machine. You'll have a fancy ride. Ever see a kitty spin? See how smooth you glide? I see you're such a dizzy cat. You still go round and round. What could be more fun than that? See now what you found? You've never seen a thing like this. Just watch these bubbles grow. It isn't really magic. All I do is blow. See now, isn't this more fun than sleeping all day long? Kittens all we're meant to play. We're doing nothing wrong. Now you can't be an artist. You paint with all your toes. And you've not painted anything. There's no design that shows. Hey, my friend, don't jump there. Oh, see now what you've done. Don't know how I'll get you out. Oh, kitten, you're the one. I'll try a lever pull to get you out of there. I'm afraid you've made a mess here and ever.
So I was Googling haunted yarn balls because obviously the ball of yarn is possessed by some sort of ghost or demon that is tormenting and tempting that kitten to do all sorts of things that it shouldn't be doing. And yes, I want to really find the complete version of that film to figure out what has gone on, what is happening there. It's really quite something to witness the mischief and the insanity. Yeah. All right. This next film, this will be it for the day. Oh, yeah. So thanks so much for buying coffee. This is a way that you can say thank you to AV Geeks by keeping us caffeinated, me specifically. So thank you for that. Patreon is also a way you can support AV Geeks and just tell people what we're doing. So this next film is part of the Mulligan Stew series. It's a film made by 4-H and the USDA, and it's to teach nutrition. It was made in the early 70s, which means that it's made for kids, which means that the kids themselves are in a rock band and solve mysteries about nutrition. Because I think it was federally mandated that every single kid show had to have a rock band in it, and they had to solve mysteries, a la Scooby-Doo. So here's Look Inside Yourself. Enjoy.
What you eat, and I'll tell you what you are. Huh?
Tell me what you eat, and I'll tell you what you are.
Huh?
Tell me what you eat, and I'll tell you what you are.
You know what that means?
No.
Tell me what you eat, and I'll tell you what you are. I don't get it.
Tell me what you eat, and I'll tell you what you are means that if you know about the foods that go into you, you'll know how you can look good, feel good, and do good in the things you try.
Tell me what you eat, and I'll tell you what you are. Well, pretty good, huh? Oh!
Your opinion on how they taste.
Yeah. You expect him to eat this stuff?
We expect him.
Mickey, this is horrible.
I told Soldier, what did you do to him? Nothing. Look, I read the ingredients and... Okay, did you put one egg? You're sure you put one egg? You have to. Okay. I put one egg. Now, how much milk? We don't have any milk. How many eggs? Hello, Mulligan Stew's place.
This is You Know Who.
You know who?
Yes, you know who.
Who's you know who?
Me, Wilbur Do-Right.
Hey, kids! It's Wilbur Do-Right! Hey!
Will you be quiet? You never know who might be listening.
Oh, Wilbur.
So listen, I just saw the big boss.
The big boss?
Yes, the big boss.
Wilbur just saw the big boss! Hey, the big boss, man!
Will you be quiet? You want to give the whole thing away to the enemy?
Enemy? Wilbur, don't be silly!
Now listen, I have an assignment for you and the Mulligan stew, if you can handle it.
An assignment? Oh, sure, Wilbur, come on over.
Okay, now, here's my plan. I'm going to come right on over.
And don't bother to knock. The door's always open.
And I'm not even going to bother to knock. You'll leave the door open for me so that I can slip right in.
Okay, Wilbur. I'll see you when you get over here. Hey, kids! Wilbur's coming over with an assignment.
Hooray!
That'll be fun.
Okay, now, don't act suspicious or anything. And above all, stay calm. We mustn't lose our heads.
To know what's happening in the good eating scene, you have to know a little about digestion.
Digestion. The process of making food absorbable by dissolving it and breaking it down into simpler chemical compounds in the alimentary canal for assimilation into the body system.
Yes, sir! Wilbur, do right!
Me? A stuffed shirt? Why, that's preposterous.
Well, here we go. We're about to be eaten.
Oh, yeah? That's out of sight. I've never been eaten before.
Me neither, but I hear it's not that bad.
What happens in there?
Well, you know how the body is made up of millions and millions of cells?
Yeah.
Well, that guy's got to eat us foods so that each of those cells can be fed to live and grow.
We're gonna go right into the cell.
No, first he eats us foods, then he digests us.
Digest?
Yeah, it's a process that breaks us down into the parts that his cells need to live and grow.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, the guy's gonna pick us up on his fork and eat us. I'll explain it all to you as we go along.
I'm ready when you are.
Here we go.
Hey, where are we?
This is the guy's mouth. Digestion starts here. He chews us up with his teeth into smaller parts so we can have an easy trip down his throat.
That's why you have to have good teeth, right?
Right.
Hey, what's going on?
Take it easy, take it easy. That's just saliva.
Saliva?
You know, spit.
Oh, spit? Why didn't you say so?
Okay. The saliva has stuff in it that starts to change some foods, like carbohydrates, into sugar.
Well, that's all well and good, but does it have to make us so wet?
Well, that's so we'll be easier to swallow and go down a guy's throat. And here we go!
Whee! Now, where do we go now?
The throat, or as it is called the esophagus, will take us to the stomach for more digesting.
Wow, the stomach sure is a groovy place.
Yeah, now here comes some more digestive fluids, and the stomach walls will move around and churn, so that we can be mixed up a little more for digestion.
No, this is fun. I want to be digested more.
Okay, now that we're a liquid substance, we're going into the small intestine.
What happens then? More fun?
You'll see. We're passing through the stomach into the small intestine now.
Oh boy, this is like a magic land.
It sure is. Okay, here in the small intestine, we're going to be broken down into different parts, like fatty acids and amino acids.
For building new cells.
Right, and simple sugars. Then we'll be absorbed through the intestinal walls and go into the bloodstream.
Where to now?
Now, well, we each go to the cells that need us the most. Some of us will repair damage to tired cells. Others will build new ones. And some of us will be stored up for use later.
Boy, this was the best voyage I ever took.
Me too. See you later, pal.
See ya.
And don't forget, the next time we see each other, we'll be parts of this guy's cells.
You can't be on top of it mentally or physically unless you eat right. That means a balanced diet.
You can't be a good athlete, a good student, a good musician, or a good anything unless everything is working right. And to get everything to work right, you have to eat right.
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 Right. How about these?
Now that's what I call pancakes.
Here I am.
Kids, it's me, Wilbur Do-Right, fourth assistant, the second helper of the 8th person in the line of the Department of Important News. Maggie, it's me, Wilbur. Mike, will you listen? I have some important news. Mickey, Money, Mulligan, this is vital. I have an assignment for the Mulligan Stew Force. Your country needs you.
Gee, Wilbur, why didn't you say so? How long have you been here, Wilbur?
What's happening, Wilbur? Hey, Wilbur, how you doing?
Hi.
Holy cow, it's Wilbur Do-Right. What's up?
I have an assignment for the Mulligan Stew Force, if you think you can handle it.
Oh, Okay, we can handle it.
Here's a film of a boy and his sister. This is Bobby Jenkins, a typical 15-year-old boy and his 14-year-old sister. Now, Bobby and his sister Alice were very popular in school, went to all the parties, good-looking too, used to date all the time.
What do you mean, used to?
Wait and you'll see. Bobby was voted most popular in school, and he excelled in sports.
Wow.
Wow is right. Now, Alice was the most popular girl in the school. Cheerleader, booster, acted in the school plays.
What happened, Wilbur?
Here they are as they look now. See how grouchy they act? Their friends don't even like them anymore.
Really?
Yes. Their grades are way, way down in school. Their friends don't want to hang around with them because they're so grouchy and uptight all the time. Here are the facts and figures on Bobby and Alice Jenkins. Your assignment, Mulligan Stew, if you think you can handle it, is to find out what's wrong with Bobby and Alice and fix it.
Golly, looks like a tough one.
But can you do it, Mulligan Stew? Can you solve this riddle?
We can and we will. Yeah,
we'll do it once. Yeah, we done it once. We'll do it again.
We?
Wilbur, you're not thinking of...
I mean, last time, Wilbur, we...
Oh, no, Wilbur.
What's the trouble?
Oh, nothing, Wilbur. Everything's just fine. 4, 4, 3, 2. That's a formula for me and you. 4, 4, 3, 2. That's the only thing that'll do. 2, 4, 6, 8. Hurry on now, don't be late. 4, 4, 3, 2. That's the only thing that'll do. A brand new 4, 4, 3, 2. That's the formula for me and you. 4, 4, 3, 2. That's the only thing that'll do. A brand new formula for feeling fine, easily understood. Good food will keep your health in line and keep you feeling
The body needs certain substances to live and grow.
And these substances are called nutrients. One of the key nutrients you've got to know about is protein.
Proteins build and repair the cells of our bodies.
We get protein from the foods in the meat group, the milk group, and the bread and cereals group.
Let's hear for protein.
Minerals are another important nutrient.
Iron and calcium are important minerals to remember. So is iodine.
Iron is needed by your red blood cells to carry oxygen to your body. Without iron, we'd feel sick and tired and run down.
We get iron in the foods from the meat group, the fruit and vegetable group, and the bread and cereal group.
Calcium helps to build strong bones and strong teeth.
It also helps keep your heart beating and helps your muscles to work. Get calcium in the foods from the milk group and the fruits and vegetables group.
Vitamins are another important nutrient.
Vitamin A helps you see in the dark.
We get vitamin A from the fruits and vegetable group and the milk group.
The B vitamins help us get energy from food. They help keep the nerves and the skin in good condition. They also help you have a good, healthy appetite.
B vitamins, they're found in cereal, milk, vegetables, meats, in those 4 food groups.
Let's hear it for the B vitamin.
Vitamin C is very important.
Vitamin C helps hold our body cells together. It makes the walls of our blood vessels strong. It also helps to heal wounds. Vitamin C is found in citrus fruits and other fruits and vegetables, too.
Let's hear it for vitamin C. Other important key nutrients are carbohydrates and fats.
Carbohydrates and fats give us energy for work and play, and school and sports.
Carbohydrates come from foods that have starches and sugar. Starches are found in bread and cereal.
And corn and potato.
Sugar can be found in honey, syrup, table sugars, jams, and jellies.
Fats can be found in butter and margarine and cooking fats and oils. Let's hear it for fats and carbohydrates. Yeah!
There they are, Bobby and Alice. I told them to meet us in the stands.
I sure hope we can do something to help them. Me too. Well, first we gotta figure out what's wrong with them. Then we gotta do something about it.
And that's the story. Always grouchy and tired.
Right. My friends say I'm not much fun anymore. And I haven't had a date in weeks.
Maybe you could, Sorry.
Now we've got to find out what caused this change in you. You used to be the most popular guy in school, right, Bobby?
Yeah, used to be.
Now look at us. We're all pooped out like we were old paper, grouchy and uptight.
What do you think, Mulligan?
Yeah, did you figure it out?
Come on, tell us.
Okay, then, here's my plan. Now, we've got to examine Bobby and Alice and what they do every day. And maybe that'll give us some clues to why they've become so tired and run down lately and irritable.
That'll take a lot of work, Marvin.
Not if Bobby and Alice help us. Now, you've got to tell us what you do on a regular day, okay?
Okay with me.
Me too.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's begin.
Oh, Wilbur.
Well, we get up in the morning and we wash.
Right. Bobby uses the bathroom first while I brush my hair.
Then I come out and do a few exercises while Alice uses the bathroom. And I don't do my exercises anymore. Too tired and worn out, even in the morning.
What happens then?
Well, after we get dressed, we grab our books and start for school.
Sure. We don't want to be late for school, do we?
Heavens, no.
Don't you even stop for breakfast?
We already told you we don't want to be late for school.
Only we're so drowsy all the time. We don't do well in school anyway.
Yeah.
What happens then?
First comes lunch break.
What do you have for lunch?
Oh, man. I get a great lunch. Meat and vegetables, milk and dessert. Then I play some ball.
I grab a sandwich and milk in the cafeteria and eat it outside with my friends.
Then you go back into school?
Yeah.
What about after school?
Well, I usually go to one of my friends' house.
Do you have a snack over there?
Sure, potato chips and soda pop, you know.
How about you, Bobby?
Well, I used to have football practice in the afternoons. Then me and the guys would horse around, you know. Now I just watch.
You have a snack too?
Sure. Sometimes we get something at the candy store or malt shop. Once in a while we have a hot dog.
Okay, how about supper?
I eat everything my mom puts out for us.
Me too. I'm really hungry. Well, do you think you can help us?
I think so. But first I've got to check some things out with some of my friends. Who? Some kids I know.
Oh, what can they do?
I'm not sure, but they know a lot about problems like these.
Just don't stand there. Go find them.
I've got these two friends, and their name is Bobby and Alice Jenkins, you know? And they're all grouchy and uptight all the time. And I figure, you know, like, maybe it's due to the fact that they don't eat right.
Well, do they have good lunches?
They eat good lunch, they told me.
Do they eat breakfast?
No, they don't.
That might be it.
Well, in 4-H, we're learning different things about how breakfast could be good for you, and that if you don't eat breakfast, you get all grumpy and get headaches during the day.
My name is Maggie, and I'm conducting a series of interviews on food and nutrition. Could you tell me what you had for breakfast this morning?
A piece of toast, a glass of milk.
What did you have for breakfast this morning?
I had 2 eggs and bacon this morning and toast and a glass of milk.
Bacon and eggs, orange juice, and coffee.
Sauce and eggs.
Do you think breakfast is important?
Yes.
Why?
Well, it gets your day started. It gets you started for the day.
Keep you from getting hungry through the day. Because it gives you something to run your energy down.
Do you know what formula 4432 stands for?
No.
Okay. 4 servings a day of fruit and vegetables you should have every day, and 4 servings of bread and cereals, 3 servings a day of milk and cheese, and 2 of meat, fish, or chicken. What does food give you?
Well, too much of it gets me fat. I guess it gives me energy, huh?
Well, if you eat the proper foods, it won't get you fat. How do you know eating good is important?
You're not able to do very much if you don't eat good.
You have to eat good to feel good, especially breakfast.
You can't be good at what you want to be. A nurse, a doctor, a dancer, a lawyer, a fireman, unless you eat a balanced diet, the right foods, the right exercise, the right rest, all the parts.
That was very good, Wilbur.
Yes, I know.
You have to know what foods you need to have a healthy body.
I want to know what we're doing here. I thought we were supposed to be solving the problem for Bobby and Alice.
That's exactly why we came here.
Well, I don't get it.
Me neither.
Don't worry, Wilbur. You will. I'm sure Mulligan knows what he's doing.
Golly, I sure hope so.
Okay, Bobby and Alice, you sit here. Okay, Mulligans, now let's set up.
Kids, what are you doing?
Just relax and enjoy yourself, Wilbur. It'll all be very clear in a minute. Ready? This'll solve your problems. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You gotta eat breakfast. You gotta eat breakfast to keep you feeling fine all day long. You gotta eat breakfast. You gotta eat breakfast to keep you feeling fine all day long. You gotta
breakfast. You gotta eat breakfast to keep you feeling fine all day long.
You gotta start each day with fuel food to keep your body running strong. You can go all the way with a good breakfast that'll last the whole day long. You gotta eat breakfast, you gotta eat breakfast to keep you feeling fine all day long.
And don't forget the word, breakfast.
We won't, man.
Breakfast, that's for us from now on.
Yeah. Your body is made up of millions and millions of cells.
To keep your cells healthy and repair damaged cells and build new ones, we need nutrients.
Nutrients come from the foods you eat every day. Your body needs nutrients to live and grow.
Proteins are nutrients.
Vitamins are nutrients.
Minerals like iron, calcium, and iodine are nutrients.
Carbohydrates and fats are nutrients.
Like man, you need nutrients to live and grow.
You need nutrients to live and grow.
And 1, 2, 3, 4. You need nutrients to live and grow. Yeah!
Remember, 4432.
You need 4 servings of fruits and vegetables. You can get 1 or more at breakfast.
You need 4 from the bread and cereal group. You can get 1 or more at breakfast.
You need 3 servings from the milk group. You can get 1 at breakfast. And 2 from the meat group. You can get 1 at breakfast.
Got it.
And thanks. We'll never forget what we've learned.
Yeah, thanks, Mulligans. Oh, thank you too, Wilbur.
Thanks, Wilbur.
Oh, it was nothing.
You have to eat the right foods to look good, feel good, and do good in the things you try. There's really no other way to do it other than eating right.
I eat right. Do you?
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 We eat right. Do you?
Maggie and me, Mickey and me, we're all like as 2 people can be. Though we're different on the outside, the foods that we eat form the same kind of inside. You get turned on if you found all of the foods that we put down forms a part of the inside of me. Inside Maggie, Mickey and me. Manny and me, Mike and me, we're all like as 2 people can be. Though we're different on the outside, the foods that we eat form the same kind of inside. You get turned on if you found all of the foods that we put down forms a part of the inside of me. Inside Manny, Mike and me. Mulligan and me, we're all like as 2 people can be. Though we're different on the outside, the foods that we eat form the same kind of inside. You get turned on if you found all of the foods that we put down form a part of the inside of me. Inside of Mulligan and me.
So that was Mulligan Stew. Some people found on Wikipedia some information about some of the cast members. The blonde-haired girl was a musician, but then has passed in 2009. Others are real estate agents and etc. Wilbur does show up in some commercials that I digitized when I did a giant 50,000 commercial digitizing project for a local advertising archive. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting little artifact of like you know, so the 4-H is trying to get hip. They're trying to USDA is trying to educate kids about nutrition. And so this is what came out of it, is this, like, well, kids love Scooby-Doo. They love a band. And so there's all these songs about nutrition. And a diverse group of little kids hanging out. And then they solve mysteries about why eating breakfast is important. So this is why I collect films. And what I discovered is I have 5 of the 6 episodes. I'm missing the episode, The Racer Who Lost His Edge. So now I'm going to go start looking for it. And I can do that thanks to people that donate to Patreon, people that buy me coffee. Sometimes I use that money to buy films or to pay for shipping or to help pay for the roof that is finally being repaired on my archive today. For those of you who have been following me for a while, a tree fell on my archive back in March, April, and finally it is being re-roofed today, and thankfully the damage was minor. There was a hole about this big in the roof that we had tarped, and now it's covered with shingles. So thank you for your support, and thanks for your comments. It's great. I enjoy watching these films with you. I enjoy you laughing at the places that I know you'll laugh. And I also kind of have a guilty pleasure of watching you freak out when I show a film like Little Kitten, where everybody's like, what's going on? Oh my God, this is horrible. So thank you for indulging me in that, expanding your day a little bit, and perhaps giving you nightmare fodder later tonight. If you liked this, you can actually physically like it on Facebook, and you can physically like it on YouTube. Another way you can like it is just tell your friends that this is going on. And then, of course, you can buy me a coffee. And Patreon is a place to donate. But we'll see you tomorrow, Friday, the end of week 13. More films. I had mentioned Guardiana, and I need to show a Guardiana film. I think it's time. I think you guys have earned it. So hopefully tomorrow I will remember to program it. And if I don't, remind me. And we'll watch one of the 2 Guardiana films that I have. Everybody have a good rest of the day, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.